Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Phoenix and this is the Consumer's Guide to Filmmaking. Challengers, 2024, Luca Guadagnino. This film follows three people competing at and or attending a local tennis tournament. Superstar athlete Tashi Duncan, her husband, and equally accomplished Art Donaldson, and down-and-out tennis player Patrick Zwieg. What is seemingly your average game of tennis is a game of life or death for Donaldson and Zwieg. When past wounds mount up, the result of this game will forever change their lives. The first of Luca's two bangers from 2024, and this one is a banger of a sports drama. I really dug this movie. Guadagnino does some really neat things in this film visually. During the tennis matches, there will be these wild-ass POV shots. Either from the perspective of the player or the ball, watching a tennis game from said perspectives is a wild experience. Especially the latter, because during that sequence, the camera removes itself from that perspective and goes top-down in such a fluid motion. Also in this film, Guadagnino dicks around with frame rate. During a scene involving a little smooching, he reduces the frame rate enough so that the scene starts to blur and stutter, making it really stand out. There's also some slow-mo, high frame rate stuff, but that's the sort of stuff you would expect in a sports film? Yeah. Which brings me to the portion where you can start calling me a nitpickin' Nicky, and that's that Guadagnino doesn't quite do enough of that cool shit throughout the film. Like, don't get me wrong, everything else in this film is damn solid. There's some great visual symbolism and reincorporated imagery in the film. The editing greatly aids with the structure of the story, filling in information at just the right moment for emotional impact. Like, it's damn good filmmaking. But compared to the other films I've seen from him, hell, compared to Queer, which came out later that year, full review on the channel, this film, Challengers, doesn't quite revel in those experimental techniques enough. It's somewhere in between Call Me By Your Name and Suspiria, but for a movie that got this level of hype, it should have leaned more into being as experimental as Suspiria, at least within reason. That's just me though. But you know what is banging in this film, no ifs, ands, or buts? The goddamn score. My boys Trent and Atticus are in the business of banger scores, and this score is probably one of their best. Each piece sounds like it would be playing in the most intense gay club rave night imaginable. Throbbing bass and techno melodies give these scenes unparalleled energy, especially during the tennis match scenes. But there's also moments where the editor knew when to pull off of that score and let the intensity of high-level tennis take hold. The grunts, the pistol-like whack of the racket on a ball, those little bits of audio design without a score to accompany it can have such impact. One of the two non-score related pieces was, I think, a church hymn. It was used during a scene near the end, and it was a really eclectic thing to choose for that scene. That unique choice, though, really gave the scene some impact. Also, the end credits has what is more or less a new Nine Inch Nails song. It's called Compress Repress, and it's a bop. It really fit the ending, and it perfectly encapsulates the vibe the film was going for. On to the script, which is one of the best aspects of this film. Beautifully structured and paced, incredibly organic dialogue, dynamic characters, it's really cool stuff. It's one of those scripts where I think I might get more out of it on a second viewing, but for now, here's what I got out of it this time around. To me, this film is about a venomous thought ruining a perfectly healthy friendship / homosexual relationship. Before Tashi showed up, Patrick and Art were bromigos for life. They also fuck, but that's another story for another time. But when this bitch starts playing them against each other, Patrick and Art start getting uber fucking competitive and hostile towards each other. These three have the nastiest possible love triangle. There's lots of animosity between everyone, and it all culminates in this big tennis match at a local tournament. Now, the ending of this film is a strange one. On the surface, it seems happy because Pat and Art make up and become Romigos again. After all, like Tashi said, playing the game of tennis is like a relationship. When you're out there, you are bonded and the connection is deep. Really, in the end, everyone got what they wanted. Art is probably going to win his career Grand Slam. Patrick probably got better by simply playing with his friend again. But that's why this ending isn't happy. Because everyone got what they wanted. Namely, Tashi. See, Tashi is an insecure little brat who couldn't handle the fact that her career was done because her knee twisted the wrong way at the wrong time. She had no control, and she craves control. So she ended up using Art and Pat as a means to an end. Whether or not it happened the way she wanted it to happen, she used Pat to bring out Art's killer instinct. She gets to continue being famous and experience the things she loves vicariously, some would say parasitically, through Art. As she lets out her big, "Come on!" She smiles not because a friendship was renewed, but because she, ultimately, won. This love triangle is brought to life by the three-person cast of Zendaya, Josh O'Connor, and Mike Feist. I think that's how you say it. I'm not gonna try again. Our leading lady, Zendaya, is fantastic in this film. She is exuding so much confidence and swagger, and her delivery can also be so cold and callous. O'Connor and Feist were excellent in this film as well. These two had such amazing chemistry with each other. The two played off each other so well and so organically, they came off like either a really sweet couple in some scenes, or like they genuinely hated each other's guts in others. Now, the three of them together? Also fireworks. The entire dynamic is just plain fireworks. Before I wrap up here, I just want to give a big fucking shout out to the group of Zoomers that came into my screening of this film and wouldn't shut the fuck up. Like, they kept yammering on even when the movie started. Now, hearing them gasp and haw at all the sexual stuff in the film was kind of funny, but they talked way too much, way too consistently for it to be charming. It got to the point where I had to turn around and give them the death glare. After that, they were a little less loud, but still didn't shut up. Thankfully, some of them left, and it lessened my urge to kill them because they got quieter then. I swear to God, large movie theaters should have died during the pandemic. I fucking hate them so much. Oh, yeah, anyways, Challengers is great. Great performances, great direction, yeah, great movie. Go see it. Highly recommended. Feeling a 9 to a 9.5 out of 10 on this one. Might be a 9.5 on rewatch. Okay, let's go home now. Catch you later, guys.